This video is for Rachel from 6 months from now. So if you're not Rachel from 6 months from now, then don't watch this video. Just please click away. This is a private conversation. Please do not watch this video if you're not Rachel from 6 months from now. Okay. Hi, Rachel. It's me, Rachel. You're currently traveling Asia. It's been around 2.5 months of you traveling alone, and it's been about 9 months since quitting your job to pursue your dreams. So I thought I'd just give you an update as to how you're feeling right now so that whenever you watch this video, you can be reminded of what you were thinking and see the progress that you've made so far. The letter is kind of long, so I wrote it all out. So I'm going to read from my phone if you don't mind because I didn't want to memorize the script. At the beginning of this journey, quitting your job to follow your dreams, you were extremely scared. You vaguely knew what you wanted to do, but still had a lot to figure out. You started posting videos again after years of initially posting on YouTube and began to find a creative part of yourself you thought you lost. And then you didn't post a video for like 4 months. You fell into the trap of perfectionism procrastination. You convinced yourself your work wasn't good enough for people, and you waited for perfect only to realize perfect was never going to come. Then you left to Asia with a somewhat better understanding of the type of work you wanted to do, only to be severely humbled as to how hard your vision would be to execute. You were so hard on yourself at the start of this trip. You were extremely stressed out all the time. Things were not really going to plan. Every day you were making mistakes. You never felt like your work was ever good enough, and you constantly felt like you were never doing enough. You were yelled at by Vietnamese aunties in the market after you knocked over a pail of water filming in public for the first time.
Ôi,
Oh no.
ôi con ơi, bị rồi em.
Sorry. Your film photos are severely under or overexposed. Your footage is shaky. Your brain goes blank when you interview people as soon as the camera turns on. People decline your request to be filmed or have their photo taken, which makes you feel like crap. You entirely forget to film certain shots. You have edited and scrapped over 6 videos at this point. Your style keeps flip flopping. You constantly feel like you don't know what you're doing because you're doing this all alone. You lost confidence and spent an entire week in Bangkok doing nothing besides comparing yourself to people's work you saw on the internet because you convinced yourself you may not actually be able to achieve what you want. You didn't allow yourself to make mistakes and fail because you felt like time was running out. You put this arbitrary 1 year timeline to accomplish success, which is so naive to think it would take that little amount of time, and you expected yourself to be perfect and beat yourself up when you were not. It's been 9 months, and you thought at this point you'd be making money and have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but instead you're draining your savings to do what you're doing, and the only thing you have to show for it is 7 videos and 820 subscribers, and that made you feel like crap. But then something happened. Something clicked in your brain. Maybe it was the countless inspirational Colin and Samir or digital spaghetti videos you were watching, or your mom and sister yelling some sense into you halfway around the world, but you finally released yourself from the pressure of being perfect. You started being okay with falling down because every time you got back up, your footage may have been shaky, but you're filming in public, which is something that was so difficult for you to do at the start. Your photos may be wrongly exposed, but you've learned to love film photography and are actually getting better at it. Your interviews may not be super good, but you now have the courage to ask complete strangers to be interviewed. The amount of times you've had a mental breakdown have decreased drastically. You no longer compare yourself to other people on the internet because you realize that this isn't a competition anymore. You've made actual friends on this trip and now have more of a community of people in the creative, culinary, and entrepreneurial space, which is not something you had 2.5 months ago. You may only have 820 subscribers and have only posted 7 videos in these 9 months, but the amount of mental growth, confidence gained, and clarity you now have with yourself is something that can't be measured. You know more now than yesterday, 2.5 months ago when you left for Asia, and 9 months ago when you quit your job, what you want to do. A lot of people don't respect what you're doing because they don't understand it, and that's entirely okay. You now believe in yourself enough to not let your self worth be defined by people whose opinions are frankly none of your business, because the only person who needs to understand what you're doing is you. Your work has a lot of room for growth, and it may take time to get there, but you're doing exactly what you want. You have frankly known your entire life what you want to do, and you're finally doing it. You don't see failure as things not going to plan or the goalpost changing anymore. That isn't failure. Failure is when you decide to give up before you have the very possible chance of succeeding. Every single day you have the privilege to be challenged. You have no expectation anymore to be an expert at your work because you've never done this before. Your only expectation is that you try, because that is the only thing you can control. You wake up every day excited to be better than the day before, excited to teach and inspire people, excited to find a better way to share your message. You're not making any money and probably won't for a while, and you're okay with that. Because if money gets tight, you'll get a part time job. You'll figure it out just as you always have. You believe so badly in the impact your work will one day have, and you're okay with the short term sacrifices because you know it will be worth it. Following your dreams is hard, but at least you're following them.